He is Captain James T. Kirk. He is T.J. Hooker. He is Denny Crane. He is a fictional space traveler. He is an actual space traveler. He is Mr. William Shatner. Thank you for calling in this morning.
Well, I got important news. I'm going to be in your neighborhood. Call and get the last of the seats.
I sat down last night, Mr. Shatner, and I wrote down all the various things that I believe people come up to you and say, okay? And I want to just get them out of the way.
Yeah.
So we can move on, okay? So obviously all the Captain Kirk, the He's Dead Jim, the Beam Me Up. I'm sure you get people coming up to you repeating Denny Crane a million times.
You're asking me what I get the most?
Yeah, I'm assuming you get the Star Trek stuff the most.
No. I'll tell you the one thing that I keep, and I'm sick of hearing it, okay?
Okay.
I heard you on the Brett Andrews show. They keep hearing it. And I'm sick and tired of it, Brett.
Oh, you just made my world. I have been a huge fan of you for my entire life. I'm a huge Star Trek geek. I will tell you, I did go to a convention years ago that you were at here in town. I will also throw a caveat out there in that, yes, I've been to a Star Trek convention. No, I don't live in my parents' basement. And yes, I've kissed a girl. So there you go.
Well, it's delightful. And I'm hoping your listening audience will come to the theater.
Yeah, so it's a week from Friday, the Pabst Theater.
Here's what happens. We open with the movie The Wrath of Khan.
Right.
And we play the refurbished version. It's recolored and sound and everything. And it's a beautiful movie, a very moving movie. And it's a historical movie in that if we hadn't made that, The Wrath of Khan, it's likely that Star Trek would have died. But the success of The Wrath of Khan begat all these other iterations. We made The Wrath of Khan, and from then on we made 6 more or 7 more movies, and all were moderately successful. I come out on stage, and I spend an hour, a little more than an hour, with the audience, answering questions about the movie, about anything else, and we have a great time.
Amazing.
The movie was made 40 years ago.
Sure.
And gravity has wreaked its havoc on me.
Well, but you haven't spent
40
your
years.
entire life on planet Earth, so maybe the gravity is a little bit different around you.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. But I have to, I come out and apologize immediately.
And, honestly, though, in all seriousness, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, probably one of the best Star Trek movies.
I believe it is. And it's because there was a really emotional story told. And that was the best of Star Trek when we told them the stories that had a meaning, and it wasn't all about special effects. And I think that's the secret behind Star Trek.
Star Trek II was kind of the, no pun intended, the genesis of the continuation of the Star Trek story. See what I did there, by the way?
So you segued beautifully.
Thank you.
You used a good word.
Thank you so much. Which leads me to ask, obviously now Paramount is pushing out a ton of Star Trek content. Do you watch any of it? Do you see any of it?
Brett, I need a little help, and perhaps you can provide that. I don't know why, and this is God's truth, I haven't watched any of them. I'm really good friends with the Next Generation cast.
Mm-hmm.
I was with them this past weekend, as a matter of fact. And those guys, they're beautiful people, and I love them, and they're funny, and they're talented, and I've never seen their show. And I don't know why. You
were in a movie with them. You did Generations with them, of course, with, Patrick Stewart.
Well, with Patrick, but Patrick hasn't been going out to making any personal appearances like we've been doing.
Maybe it's this. Maybe the memories you have of your Star Trek are so perfect in your head, you don't want to cloud it with anything else.
Maybe that's it. It's such a perfect diamond. It's so beautifully faceted.
Yes.
I don't want to see any flaw in that diamond.
I never thought I'd see the day where I was psychologizing William Shatner, but I've done it.
Well, and it's based on a great deal of intelligence and experience.
So I know you have to get going. Really quick, I do need to say this. I was terrified of flying in the wing seat of an airplane because of you a good portion of my life.
Yeah,
Because, of course,
So am I.
classic Twilight Zone where the monster's tearing the wing off.
Yes.
And also, one of my very favorite characters, Mr. Shatner, is Denny Crane. I think I love that character so much because of the chemistry that you have with James Spader on that show. You guys just look, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys look like you are having a ridiculously good time.
Those scenes with he's a wonderful guy and a wonderful actor. It's a pleasure being on screen with him. Yeah, we had a wonderful time. We did it for 5 years, and and I said to him on the last show, I'll call you for dinner, and okay, and we'll see, and then wait a minute, no, I can't make it on Tuesday. We never met for dinner in the intervening time.
You know what? I'll figure that one out. You text me his phone number. I'll make the connection happen, Mr. Shatner, okay?
I'm sure he'll be delighted to talk to you.
I know you've got to go. Tickets are on sale now for the Pabst Theater on Friday night, March 10th. I got to tell you, this has been an absolute thrill, Bill. I really appreciate you taking time, and we can't wait for you to get to town. And I promise not to come up to you and say, "He's dead, Jim."